Hi, I'm Shane from Quick Attach. Today I'm going to talk about the features and benefits of our Eagle Talon. I'd like to go over a lot of the improvements and changes we've made to this new design of our Eagle Talon. We've made grapples for many years here at Quick Attach. We have a lot of history and a lot of experience. And as the years have gone by, the machines have gotten bigger, wider, more powerful. And so we are adapting to that. We're making the product better to match the new reality. So we've made a lot of key feature upgrades to this grapple that we feel make it the best grapple on the market. The biggest change probably in the functionality of this grapple that we did is we made the upper grapple here actually be adjustable to be independent. So there's a bolt-in section here between the right and left halves that you can, you have the choice to buy this with or without this section. And what this does is, if you have it removed, the two upper grapples will move independently, and it gives you more flexibility in terms of grappling objects that are not even or larger on one side or the other. Now, for people that do a lot of back dragging, sometimes it's better to have this center section filled in. So we give you the option to do that with this design. And going up the grapple, you'll notice that we have these kind of unique double tines here that are heavily gusseted. And what that gives you is not only an extremely strong tine that's not going to bend, but it gives you more coverage when you're back dragging. So you're going to have less gaps for debris to slip through. Another feature upgrade we did on the main frame here, you'll notice, are these screens that are welded into the back. The reason we did that is so that you have not only the ability to see the work area in front of you, but it's well protected. What can happen in reality is when you're working in the woods like this, you get branches or twigs or whatever that will run up through any windows that you have for visibility. If you don't have those blocked off, they're going to get up in here and possibly get into your hoses or into the quick attach area of your skid steer loader. And obviously you don't want that. You want to be able to push into big piles like this one behind me and not worry about things penetrating through your grapple. So I want to zoom in here a little bit and look more at the construction of the tines and the teeth. So you'll notice that we've made these tines a lot stronger by using huge gussets. The width of this gusset across the back here where it's welded to the tube is over 10 inches wide. And the length of the tine from the tip of the tine up to where the tube is approximately 18 inches to the tip here. And this, I really like this new feature that we've done here with the tiger teeth pin-on bucket teeth. So the old bucket teeth that we used were the standard 23 that were, you know, I don't know, 2 inches wide about, but we wanted more penetration, more digging. So this gives you that ability to get that more penetration. It's pinned to an actual weld-on bucket tooth holder that's 1.5 inches wide. So it's a solid chunk of steel back here that's embedded in all this gusseting. So you have an extremely strong point to dig from. It's really important that when you build the backbone of any grapple that you got to build it strong. We're using really oversized cylinders, 3-inch diameter, 8-inch stroke cylinders that have tens of thousands of pounds of force. So when you mount these grapples, you got to do it in a very sturdy way. Now we're using heavy wall 4-inch square tubing here on the top and the bottom, and we're using that for a couple reasons. One is the larger cross section gives you more torsional rigidity, so it's not going to want to twist. But not only that, we're able to weld these really thick ears on 3 sides, and when you have a larger tube, you can spread that stress out over a larger area, and that means that this part is going to be more reliable and have a longer life. Since we designed this grapple with a right and a left, we had to make pivot points that were extremely strong, not only to handle the size of this grapple, but also to spread the stress out over the full length of the tube here. So you'll notice that we now have 4 pivot points with greasable pins, and the pivot points incorporate a mechanical stop right in them. So what that means is that when you open this grapple up to do back dragging, which is what this is designed for, you're going to put that stress into the frame and into the tines and not into the cylinder. It's pretty common for some grapples to use cylinders as the stop, and we'd rather just avoid that. So we're using a really strong and robust mechanical stop for this upper grapple. Okay, so we moved the camera to get a better view of the backside. I want to point out a few key points here. First of all, frame-wise, we have these really strong and large frame pieces, that plate steel that ties the mounting plate to the frame. We've positioned this grapple ideally so that you have good visibility, plenty of room for rollback so you don't crush your hoses, but also keeping in mind that you want to keep it as tight to machine as possible. Along with that, we've incorporated right into these plates a handy area to stand, so it's safer to get in and out of. You have a good step. Along with that, I wanted to point out that we have a very nice and tight and neat hose routing here. The hoses are supported, they're captured the whole length. That's important because you're going to have a lot of branches and twigs pulling at these hoses. You want to have them protected on the backside of this tube. You also have a very good view here of the pivot pins on both the cylinder and the main pivots. We're using 1¼ inch pins on the cylinders and 1½ inch pins on the main pivots. And that's so that you get a lot of strength, a lot of surface area in these pins that are rotating. They're also greasable, so they're going to last a long time. And we always zinc plate our pins to prevent them from rusting. We've gone over all the neat technical specs of this grapple. Now we want to show you how it works. We're going to move this slash pile here out so I can burn it later this winter. And we're going to attack this from a couple different angles. We want to show you the huge volume of material that you can actually move with this grapple. So we just took our first bite out of this pile back here, and we got almost half of the pile. So it's so much that you can't even see the grapple back here, but it is just amazing how you can get into that pile with that big opening. The penetration of the tines, the way the tines and the gussets work together to grab and hold material, the serrations of the tines, everything works together in perfect unity to make this just an awesome grapple for picking up branches and debris. Check back often as we make more videos just like this. And as always, give us a call or check out our website if you have any questions.